What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another news video. Now it's nearly 9 PM here at night and Raw is ready to air, but there's still lots of wrestling news, including another WWE Superstar requesting his release, Vince smokes weed, Cesaro wants a match with Cain Velsaquez, a New Day podcast, and Wrestlemania Pays Off. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. But let's waste no further time and get into the main story of another WWE Superstar requesting their release. Now, WWE hasn't been doing too good lately with its stock plummeting and various superstars asking for their release, as only just 3 weeks ago, just before WWE's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, a disgruntled Mike Kanellis requested his release from the company with a long message explaining his motive. Months before that, Luke Harper also handed in his notice to the company and also explained his reasons for wanting to leave with a long message. Well, another superstar has followed the trend of announcing his notice with, yeah, you guessed it, another long message on Twitter notifying fans that they no longer wish to continue in the company. This time, it's Lucha superstar Sin Cara. Sin Cara, who only just returned from hiatus due to an injury as he underwent knee surgery, has put in his notice for release. Though Sin Cara was cleared to compete ages ago, he returned at the October 21st edition of Monday Night Raw, where he was defeated by Andrade, participated in the Crown Jewel Battle Royal, and more recently introduced us to Catalina, his masked female counterpart, teaming up with her in a mixed tag team match against Andrade and Zelina Vega. The masked luchador will also appear on tonight's taped episode of Raw, facing Drew McIntyre. However, this could be his last match in the WWE, as Sin Cara felt that his journey in the WWE should now come to an end. He posted on Twitter a message to his fans in Spanish, where he goes on to say he wasn't valued by the company. He probably joins a long line of superstars who feel the same. The tweet has been translated into English and it reads, "Last night, after praying and considering it a lot, thinking about my children and their future, I made one of the most difficult but sensible decisions I've had to make in my professional wrestling career. I've asked for my WWE release. Since I was a child, all I wanted to do was fight, and all my life I have made decisions and sacrifices to put myself in a position to fulfill that dream. There are 20 long years of experience and total dedication to my sport that I love and respect. I have traveled the world, met incredible people and fought for the incredible fans of the WWE Universe. I'm so grateful for the opportunity they gave me. However, I realize that I'm trapped in a place where I'm not valued as an athlete or talent. I worked hard and honestly for many years to polish my trade. I have been loyal, respectful, a team player, supportive, and patiently awaited the opportunity to show the world everything I can do. Unfortunately, after all these years, that opportunity never came, nor do I feel that it will ever come as long as I remain where I am. The best years of my professional wrestling career are coming, and I think the best is yet to come. I'm a healthy, disciplined man, respectful of my profession and its environment, of my colleagues, and mainly of the public to whom I have never failed. This is not the end, on the contrary. This is the beginning of the next chapter, and I am excited for what the future holds." This comes from the Bible verse Isaiah 43:18-19. I want to thank WWE for this amazing chapter. I will always be grateful. Most importantly, thanks to the WWE Universe for its unwavering support, and to all my public that in all parts of the world has supported me and showed their love. The only way I can correspond is to continue providing myself with all the dedication, passion and professionalism that I've always shown. Thanks from the bottom of my heart. Also, thank you to the translation provided by HealByNature.com. But even though Sin Cara may have handed his notice in for release, it doesn't mean that it'll be granted by the WWE, as they've been rumoured to be holding on to any talent, whether they are used or not, in a bid to keep them away from their competition, signing big contracts. Sin Cara has been no different, and it was reported by PW Insider earlier this year that he'd signed a deal until 2022. So it could be likely he ain't going anywhere just yet. Will you miss Sin Cara if he gets his release granted? Where should he go on next? AEW? AAA? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, an odd story as Vince smokes weed? No, this is actually a serious headline. At least that's what former WWE Superstar Chris Jericho had to say about Vince McMahon when both he and the, at the time, future President of the United States Donald Trump attended a concert in New Jersey and Trump reportedly told him to put it out after Vince started rolling a fatty. He told, "I remember one time Vince told me that they were watching some concert or something at Trump, New Jersey, whatever it was called. Whatever the arena was called, Trump Arena. And Vince was sitting there with Linda, Donald, and all the heads of state, and Vince lit up a joint and Trump was like, 'You can't smoke that joint in here.' And Vince goes, 'I just did.' Can you believe that? Vince lighting one up? Just doesn't seem possible." But whilst we're on the subject of Trump, former WWE writer Court Bauer revealed that the Battle of the Billionaires program at WrestleMania 23, which had Umaga take on Bobby Lashley, was originally supposed to feature Umaga taking on Lucha legend Rey Mysterio. Originally, it was supposed to be, instead of Bobby Lashley, we had Rey Mysterio in there, and then the thought was, well, why would Donald pick him? He'd want someone big. Yes, that was my impression of Vince McMahon, and that's why Bobby got it, and unfortunately, Rey didn't get that big WrestleMania payday. Bauer also explained that Trump was even hated during this time, as even though he was supposed to be a babyface, he was booed by the crowd. However, it did prepare him for his political campaign. It was interesting to work with Trump, because the crowds were kind of hostile towards him, to the point where I remember that we would have money fall from the ceiling once as a babyface moved to get the crowd behind him and stuff. He never sold it if they were hostile, because I think wrestling fans, it wasn't political at the time. He was just a reality television guy from The Apprentice, who was cross-promoting the NBC properties, and I think more or less, the fans were just like, we want to see wrestling, we don't want to have a 20-minute promo from this guy. And I think that's what they were rejecting at the moment. But I think it kinda groomed him for political aspirations, because it's the same thing as pro wrestling. You're just trying to take the fan base and whip them into a frenzy and convert them into buying tickets. He's just trying to convert them into voters here. And you've got to do your catchphrases and ways to heel on your opponent. Same thing here, so you look back and it's like, this was probably his breeding ground to do something else similar, like a lot of people from wrestling get into politics, whether it's here or Japan. Definitely an interesting story. Next up, Cesaro wants a match with Cain Velsaquez. WWE Superstar Cesaro sees some big things in new WWE Superstar Cain Velsaquez, despite the UFC star's 88-second loss to Brock Lesnar during his WWE debut at Crown Jewel. In an exclusive interview with the UK Sun newspaper, Wrestling Swiss Superman remarked, "It's a marathon, that's how I look at it and what I tell myself. Of course, I wish I had those opportunities, but when the opportunity comes for me, I'll be ready, and I'll do better than Cain Velsaquez did." To be fair, that was just something like his third match, and he was very impressive with the other two. WWE is such a strong learning curve, even with NXT, which is maybe more like the independents, that's still a learning curve to adjust to this style. Given time, if I step in the ring with Cain, I think we could really tear it up. During the exclusive interview, Cesaro shared his thoughts on the addition of AEW Dynamite to many other wrestling shows on television. Competition is always great and it just makes everybody better, and there are a lot of competitive people here. It's great for the fans. There are 11 hours of pure in-ring wrestling, and then you have the bump, backstage and network specials. You could spend a whole day just watching WWE wrestling. It's great and it gives everybody an option. It certainly does, but isn't 11 hours of just pure wrestling from WWE just too much? But that aside, a Cain vs Cesaro match could be fantastic, but the WWE would have to build Cesaro up as a star for most fans to care about it. Next up, will there be a New Day podcast? The WWE seems to be gung-ho on getting into the wrestling podcast business, with Corey Graves' After the Bell and Steve Austin's Broken Skull podcast are apparently only the beginning of the WWE's podcasts. According to a report at Ringside News, WWE has filed a trademark for the New Day Feel the Power. It seems like this is the name of a new podcast. It was filed on November 5th and is registered for entertainment services, namely for providing podcasts in the field of sports, entertainment, and general human interest and entertainment. The combination of the New Day's humor, charisma, and popularity could make them an instant success as podcasters. What WWE superstars would you like to see enter the podcasting world? Personally, we'd love to see The Undertaker do one. And now on to our last story, Wrestlemania Pays Off. It's no wonder why there's an annual bidding war with who gets to host Wrestlemania each year, as the city that gets the contract to hold the event benefit massively by bringing in truckloads of cash. According to WWE.com, over the past 13 years, WrestleMania has generated more than $1.3 billion in cumulative economic impact for the cities that have hosted the event. WrestleMania 35 also generated approximately $27.1 million in federal, state, and local taxes. Hosting in New Jersey for the fourth time at WrestleMania 35, the company generated $165.4 million for the New York/New Jersey region. WWE.com reported a sold-out crowd of 82,265,000 fans from all 50 states and 68 countries attended WWE's pop culture extravaganza this past April, making it the highest-grossing entertainment event in the history of MetLife Stadium. Key highlights from the study include $165.4 million in direct, indirect, and induced impact derived from spending by visitors to the New York/New Jersey region for WrestleMania 35. 52% of fans that attended WrestleMania were from outside the New York and New Jersey region and stayed an average of 4.6 nights. $23.9 million was spent on hotels and accommodations within the New York/New Jersey region. The economic impact derived from WrestleMania week was equal to the creation of 1,534 full-time jobs for the area, and $6.6 million was spent by the visitors to the region at area restaurants. That is a huge amount of cash generated. But that's all the news we have for today. What are your thoughts on Sin Cara requesting his release? Let us know in the comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.